Okay, this is Battle Char's TCG here. Damn, why that? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with it. All right. It actually starts to hurt. Okay. I'm going to do a little breakdown here. Understanding how these cards work. Because I look at all the videos and I don't think that I'm explaining this good enough. So, King Star has a power number of 10. This is the power number. This is the amount that will be used when activating your effect. He has a help effect, so anything with help on it can be activated during the user turn only. You can only activate his passive on the user turn only. Help, help flips, help card types, anything with help on it are only used for the user. They cannot be activated during the opponent turn at any given time. Some cards can force activate them, but that's normally a stop flip or some other random card that has a really extremely super rare ability. And the card will specify how rare the card or effect may be. So it has a help effect, which can only be used on a user turn. It has 10. So this says -1 power number from count to free play, 1 star char from the remove zone back to the field. And of course, that's a typo. I have to fix that, but that's what making this game is all about, and going over it and seeing what I can fix, and whatever that was misspelled, go back and spell it. Because I move kind of fast. I've been trying to do this after work, before work, and it's like I've been moving too fast, and it kind of stuff like this happens. So I mean, as long as I have money saved up to rebuy or resell or however else I get these cars to me, I I do that. But I'm gonna have these perfect real soon, so don't worry. They're all just prototypes. It's just prototypes. So it has a DH point, or a DH amount of 1. That's right here. That's direct hit. So if I attack with this AP and DP, that is not attacking with the direct hit. That is only for hitting your opponent. So if you hit your opponent, each opponent starts with only 5 direct hit points. And with 5 direct hit points, this char will take 1 if it attacked directly. So, oh yeah, and when you activate his effect, you would set your char or card, whatever card that uses the effect in this position. This indicates that you used it 1 time. That's how you keep up with the count. Some people may use dice. You can use whatever you want to use, but if you want to buy 10 dice for whatever you want, what I did was I only bought 2. They have up to 20 numbers on it, so I could use a power number of 20. I only have 2, and I put this chart in casing because it's the very first one that came in the mail, and it's one of my favorite ones. But yeah, so this, you can use up the power number of 20 here. Now, so what I do is just I put the dice on top of the number here and indicate how many I have left. Okay, let's move on to the next chart. Now, the next chart is also still a help, but it's clearly a normal. So a normal chart have normal abilities, obviously. Nothing too sporadic. See, like -3 power numbers from this chart count to gain 9 AP if this chart is free played. So only if it's free played, you gain 9 AP. And this dash really stands for 9.0, like see that 21.0. But instead of putting the point, I put the dash to separate the number, and it just looked cleaner instead of putting points on it. I don't know. I really like the dash across, so I'm thinking about keeping it for the final. Probably just rewrite how it is said, or just keep the same way that I have it here. This one also had a DH point of 1, so if I attack the opponent directly, it's going to be -1 from that count that the opponent has. So instead of him having 5, they only have 1. And TP, and you see TP 0 or whatever TP, that 3, 4, 5, that means to play count. So I mean to play. So to play this char, it takes 0. And the only and the way to spin that, if it is some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, may it be it, you have to basically remove this off the field to play this. But this is a 0, so you don't have to do that. You can basically have both of these card types on the field together like this. So moving along, we have more help. This one is also the same. It has 11 power number. It has also a normal ninja princess. And so she just has a quick ability. She has an AP of 25 and a DP of 25. So she's pretty even. She has a nice ability. You can pause the video if you want to see. Now we have a stop flip. Now a stop flip is important to a lot of counter players. So if you want to counter something, or counter a stop card or help flip or anything, a help card, you would want to flip activate a lot of these. And I mean, not a lot of players know how to counter these, because if you counter this, that's considered a +3 counter or +2 counter, depending on what situation you're in. So, but there's cards where they gain off counters, and the counters gain off abilities and abilities. It's crazy. So, but keeping it simple, Paper Island only has a 5 power number. When a stop flip is played, they're played in this way. They're played face down in this position here. So you say, I lay 1 card face down, and then you pass it down to your opponent. Now, if the opponent does something that you may not like, it may trigger this stop flip, you would want to flip activate it. A flip activation basically take 1 power number, because you can only use 1 power number per turn. But the stop flips have a different type of way that they use this. And so you basically activate it, says -1 power number from this card count to stop the activation of a Char power move. If this card is flip activated, remove a Char on any side of the field during a +1 counter. So a +1 counter would basically be if if the opponent used a stop card and I did a flip activation with this stop flip, I could then basically remove a Char off the field. On my side or their side, it don't matter, but I wouldn't technically do it on my side unless I have a help flip that I can use that'll bring it back so I can attack during that turn or some crazy joint. But it gives you ability to do two or three different things, but you just got to find it within the game. So once I flip activate and it's successful, even if it isn't successful, I have to set this in the tap position. Now, when my turn ends, after everything has happened, and now I pass it along, this card automatically flips itself. So now we know that I used it already, so it's at 4. So if the opponent triggers it, it goes down to 3. Then they can actually trigger it again. It go down to 2, and so on and so forth until it hits 0. When it hits 0, it is sent to the remove zone. Now, let's move on to stop cards. Now, with a stop card, like I say, they can only be used from the user hand. Now, from the user hand during an attack. So if the opponent is attacking me, I will use a stop card. Now, this stop card is useful only when the one of my charges set is in the tap position. And that position is used a lot. So, I mean, it's a very useful card, but it's a normal, because the only reason why it's a normal, because you have to wait for the opponent to basically make that mistake, or, you know, when I've already used it, the opponent is going to force my charge in the AP position to attack them and stuff like that. It's just easy for them to get around. So it would be a normal. It wouldn't be a rare anything, because rare card types are kind of hard to get around, but you still can. So, and when a stop card is used, they are set, and after the usage of that card, they are set in the tap position. They do not have to use their power numbers at all even during another attack. But the crazy part about it is you can activate it at any given attack. You know what I'm saying? Only except for yours. The opponent has to attack you. So if you're going up against 4 or 5 people, you can wait to activate this card against a certain opponent monster or a Char for that matter. And you can basically pick a target. You know what I mean? You can't just activate it, because whatever you activate it on is going to activate towards that attacking Char. So these cards are not basically forced activated like the stop flips. They are only activated when the user decides to activate it during the attack only. So we're gonna move on. Okay, Char Wizard is another normal. Like I said, he has a 1950. He's a normal. He has a power number of 5. He's pretty good, but we're not gonna get into that. We just identify how help chars work. So now here's a good one: help flip. Well, if you really want to get down and dirty, you use a stop flip. But if you're trying to mix the game up, force the opponents to have to think and give yourself an edge in the game, you use a help flip. Help flips are similar to stop flips, but they don't have a flip activation. Whenever the opponent activate the card, you can flip activate this after you have had it face down on the field, which is like this. Face down on the field for 1 turn. Okay. Once you face down, you have to wait till the next turn to activate it. So once your next turn, you can activate it on your turn at any given time when your next turn. After you pull, obviously. And yeah, you read as such. But once you read and activate it and use it, even if you don't use it, you have to, at the end of the turn, it is set in tap position if you don't use it. And then it activates itself when your turn is up again, when it's your turn again. But it's activated before you pull. So you can use that ability then, or you can wait and pull it. Now, if you do wait, it uses a power number just so you can pull. You know what I'm saying? Like, how would I say for instance, it's 6, right? And so I did this, boom. So now it's at 5 and I can read what's on here and then do it. Now, once my turn in, I do that, right? This is a better example. And then when my turn come back, I can then activate this, because I can't activate it on the opponent turn. It's active now. So that goes down to 4 because I was at 5 after I used it. Yeah, so no. Okay, yeah. So I used it at 6 when I flip activated, and then when it untaps itself, it uses it at 5. So I will have 4 left. So instead of me using it before I pull, I'm gonna use it after I pull. So I'm gonna use it after I pull. Boom. That's gonna go down to 4, or no, 3 actually, because you use 2 power numbers to do that, because it activated itself, but you didn't use its ability, so it takes account. Now you have 4. And so once you decide to pull and use its ability, that's going to go down to 3. But after you use it, it's going to set it in the tap position. So now you're left with whatever that's left on the card. A lot of people like to use it while they pulling, but before they pull, because they don't want to waste a resource, because you can't waste a resource. It's just a better way to get resources, cycle resources off the field. And it's also, if you're not paying close attention, you can mess around and use resources in the wrong way. I've done that mechanic. So instead of just being more strategic, if I'm saying that right, you have to really analyze how you want to do it, instead of just like, okay, I know this is a move to be tactical, and it's like, no, you got to do a little more thinking, because it's really more of a learning game. It helps you with problem solving, counting, and memory. It helps you with a lot of things. It keeps those things running. So, even at a certain age, those things roll, and you're not just playing the game just to be playing the game. You're learning, and you're helping your brain function at a different pace. Where, what I'm saying, you know, just balancing some things out. That's kind of how this game is going to be perceived, and I have to get this right. So, like I said, these are prototypes, and it may take me a little longer to get the official cards, 100% ready cards. But so far, these are like 85%, and I'm loving it. You know, I enjoy playing myself. So let's move on. We run out of time. Bionic Star. Bionic Star is a beautiful card. It's a normal because it has a normal ability, but it's a tap. Tap charge do not have a direct hit. You can't hit the opponent directly with these cards. They're more of a tactical situation. So that's what TAP stands for, tactical approach. So they do have a tactical approach. They have a ability that normally does something more along the line like gain or allow another one of the opponent or the user to have a certain ability, or you know, mess with the your opponent's abilities and mess with your opponent, charge, send them to the remove zone for a turn, stuff like that, so you can open them up for an attack. So it's more tactical. But once you open them up for attack, you can't use these to attack their direct hit because it's 0. You won't be taking anything. And he has a 25 and he has a 30. And that's another help, but that's Bubble Beast. He's pretty decent. That's another help, Star Ninja. Egyptian Ninja. He's pretty decent too. Okay, now we are at the help cards. Now, Beast Magic is actually pretty dope. It has only 5 power numbers, but it's a normal. And -1 power number from this card count to free play a beast char from the user remove zone with a TP of 3 or lower. Now, if we're looking at it, we can free play Bubble Beast and many other beast chars that I may have in the deck, which I do have. I really do have. But it's 3 or lower, so anything at 4 or 5 TP. And like I said, TP is this right here, so it's counting that. So that's below 3, but it's not a beast, so I won't be able to free play this one. But if it was a beast, that I would be able to free play that one. And a free play is not a normal play. A normal play is meaning that I can only play one char. So each player can only play one char per turn. Free play allows you to play a char and play another one because it's free. You know, you get a chance to play another one. That's just how it is. Oh yeah, another thing. Let me not move too fast because I just showed you stop char. We're gonna get to that, but help chars are used like stop cards, but they're played from the hand. They can't be played face down. Once you play a help card, boom. Once you activate its effect, set it in tap position. Now you can hold on to this card for as long as you want, unless the opponent decides they don't want you to have it no more, and they activate a card that destroys it or something like that. But if they do not, you get to keep this. So if I use this card the first time and I went down to 4, guess what? I can keep that 4. And whenever I'm ready or whatever situation that I'm in, I was like, man, I need to get my beast chart back. I just lost them. Activate it. So guess what? Now I'm down to 3. Once I'm done, sit there in tap position. Now I can hold on to that 3 for as long as I can. You know what I mean? Until, like I said, the opponent decide, hey, I don't want you to have that ability no more. And then they send it away. So that's how help cards are used. Stop chars are used like help chars, but help chars are used on an opponent turn, and you guessed it. Stop chars are used on anytime the opponent activates a card type or a char type. So if the opponent were to activate a stop flip, help card, stop card, or even a help char, stop char, like I think I said that. You set this in tap position and you read out loud and then set it in tap position, indicating that you used the power number. This one will have 9 power numbers, so it would be left at 8 once it activates its effect. Now, with that being said, -1 power number from this card count to set a help chart in the tap position for a turn. So basically, I can force one of those help cards that I had in the tap position for a turn. So basically, like if I have, like, I would use this mainly when it's the opponent turn. So if the opponent were to activate a tap char or anything like that effect just to gain something, I'll activate this to set, if they have a help char on the field, to tap, so they can tap that so it won't be able to attack or use this effect. That's how I would use B Guardian. Okay, Feather Horse Dragon. That's a normal. You got Star Dragon, also a help. That's a rare. Now, rares, they have a rare ability. Obviously, sometimes they have 1 to 2 abilities. And rares are different. And it's also a rare. You see, if it's written in red, that means that ability is played if triggered. So if free played in any way, give any 1-star char on the user side of the field 5 AP and DP. Yeah. And it's also a tap, so it don't have a direct hit, but it has a TP of 1, so you have to remove 1 to play it. Now, if it's free played in any way, like if I activate Star King's effect or anybody effect that free plays a star char or a neutron star, I would most definitely get this on the field and start ramping up my other stars and make them stronger. And it says Lion Moon Beast. That is the help and help char. It's a rare and it's pretty dope. Oh, World Eater. Like I said, you understand how the stop cards work, but World Eater is one of those. -1 power number from this card count to send the attacking char to the lost zone and send all other cards and chars on the field to the remove zone. Crazy work. Great. And it has a 1 power number, so you can only use this 1 time, and then it's sent to the remove zone. So it leaves the rest of the field with the rest of the cards, basically. It leaves the field with the rest of the cards, I'm sorry. And here's an Egyptian Beast. It has a 50 and 40. It has the TP of 3. This is a pretty powerful card. But like I said, how tap chars are used. I don't think I even broke down the tap chars. Hold on, let's break down the tap chars real quick. This rare tap char, just like Bionic Star. Love that card. Egyptian Beast. Tap char. -1 power number from this card count. If any char is targeted by a char power number, activation to gain 5 AP and DP. So if gains 5 AP and DP, if any one of your chars on the field or any char on the field is targeted anyway, so I can activate an effect and target another char. And guess what? I can then activate this effect to gain that 5 AP and DP. And this char is pretty decent. It has a TP of 3. That means that it would take 3 chars to be removed off the field and sent to the remove zone at once by the user to free play the normal play this char, basically. And once you get on the field, obviously that's an AP of 50-25. That's going to be hard to get off the field. And it has a 17. Now, how these tap chars are used, which is crazy, is once you use the effect, boom, once the effect is activated, you can put it in the tap position. Now, you can also untap these chars if the opponent were to activate any card type or any char type. So they're just like stop chars, but they are stop chars and help chars at the same time. I forgot to mention that with the other one. So I could untap that if that were to happen. Now I can only use a power number 1 turn at a time. So that means I could use a power number on my turn. But if I have a DP of 40, that brings me all the way down by 10. But add 25. So if the opponent were to activate something, I could then do this, but I cannot activate another power number during that turn. I have to wait for the opponent turn. So sometimes I just like, shoot, I just keep it in tap position. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, or just untap it. And but I have to wait. So once the opponent turn comes, the opponent may do something. I said activate a help card or something, and I'm gonna tap this. Like I said, I can only use the ability as worded. So if this tap char, if you activate something and it comes this way and it hit a char on one of your chars, you give that char another, I'm gonna activate this so I can gain and I can tap that again. And if you were to do anything else, I can go ahead and untap it. You know, things like that. Now, the Butterfly Dragon also has a red, so you know that's a triggered ability, but it's a power number of 12, and it's a rare. It has a TP of 1. Another help flip, Point to Victory, is a pretty decent help flip actually. It says -2 power points from count to free play 4 chars in the user's remove zone. Yeah, in the user's remove zone for 1 turn. Once turn is done, send those chosen chars to the lost zone, even if they were used as a TP count. Crazy work. I gotta make sure this is worded right. In the supposed to be from, but I got it in. But okay, I can change that. Go back and change that. supposed to be from there, from the user's rule zone. Okay, Lady Neutron Star. I think we've seen her. Got Neutron Star. Bad business if you're going against this, because what it can do some crazy stuff. It has a really rare card rarity, and it has 2 abilities probably tucked in another one, so it's like 3 abilities. It's crazy work. It's a stop char, so we understand how stop chars work. This is not supposed to be in there. I'm gonna take that out. Okay, it says here's another one. Give the user the ability to normal play a char using 1 less TP count to free play. With this, it's not supposed to be in there neither. There's the original. See, these are kind of like the same, but this is the right one. See, this one says -1 power number from this card count to give the user the ability to normal play a char using 2 less TP count. The wording is always. I might go back to the other one and just switch it up a little bit. Infinite Dimension Dragon. These are infinite chars. Boom. You get one of these chars on the field, it's about game over. It's about game over. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. So in battle chars, the infinite zone is only 3 infinite zones. 3 slots in the infinite zone. So you can add chars, you can add resources. Resources is pretty much lands, but they're not lands. They're like ability realms with abilities. So you have Infinite Dimension Dragon. We're just going to start with here till we get to those. It says cannot be targeted by any char power move activations. Okay, we understand that. So that's every time it's triggered. I'm sorry. This one is not, the first one is not triggered. The second one is a trigger. So that's just law. You can't do it. Let's say the trigger one is if this char declares an attack, this activation is triggered, forcing Dimension Dragon to attack once more. Okay, I can see why I got that wrong. Yeah, so I gotta go back and change that once more time. It's crazy, but it has a power number of 5. Power number, infinite power number. It's an ultra rare. The AP and DP is an infinity to the 5th power. So if I have an infinity to the 3rd power, which you can see here, it would indicate that it's weaker than this one. So if I have an infinity to the 6th power, it can beat this one, because this is only a 5 and the other one be a 6, if you know what I mean. So in these, they cannot be set in the tap position. They're always active. But how they're active is like they're basically waiting to be triggered. You know what I mean? They waiting to be triggered, and they have ability that forces some moves not to be played. So obviously the first one is a force, and the second one is a trigger, which I'll be changing how that trigger is worded real soon. Let's say this is the realm card that I was talking about, Egyptian Kingdom. These are also like the same, but these are triggers. So now these are like abilities that's always, basically a part of the game for all players. All Egyptian chars on the field will gain 10 AP and DP during the user of this card turn. So only on my turn that this will apply to all the Egyptian chars. Also, all other chars will lose 5 AP and DP during user attack. So if I attack, the chars that is not an Egyptian char will lose 5 before the attack is made. It says phase for this turn as well. And obviously I got to go back and change that. I don't need all those extra wordings. I'm glad I was able to go through these one by one so I can actually see exactly what typos I have and what individual cards that need a little more, TLC. So the Sith Sea Beast is different. Okay, it's not an infinite char for sure, but it has an infinite char activation. So it says once targeted by any attack or any activation type to remove this char, free play 2 chars used as a TP count to normal play this char. So basically, if I remove 4 chars, I can free play 2 of those chars back if this char is targeted anyway. It can just be targeted taking AP and DP. I'm just gonna go activate this effect. Boom. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the effect is triggered because it's going to be in the resource zone, the infinite resource zone. So nothing is tapped in the infinite resource zone. Everything is triggered and set, only. So this is triggered. So then I'll bring two chars back. And so if you were to do it again, I'll bring 2 more chars back. So that leaves me with 5 chars on the field. Because this is I can use this as a TP count as well. And like here's a large help tower. There's another good one. Used the same way as the other one. Infinite origin beast, just like Dimension Dragon, but this is a infinite number, infinite to the 3rd power. It's not as strong as that char. Now links are different. Now let me give you an example. If I were to take Star Dragon, right, I would set the char on the field, right, and then I would link it here. But to activate, once you link it, it's called a force link. And that force link will basically force the char in the tap position and this activation is active. But to link, it would take 1 to link and another to use his ability. So if his ability has a 3, that means it would take 4. Now, as a matter of fact, let's do the count now. So I'm gonna count it with me. This one, it basically minus 3 power numbers to gain the ability to free play a char from the user remove zone. So boom, I'm a free play a char from the from my remove zone, but to link it 1 and then minus 3 more, that is 4. So this char power number mana count will go down by 4 instead of 2. So you it's always best to use a link with a char with a great power number, so you can do what you basically have to do. But these are the links that I have with me so far, and these basically are extra abilities for any char, except for the chars or anything in the infinite resource zone. Okay, it looks like I'm done. I'm at 32 minutes. And we are out. This was Battle Char's TCG. Just a hard, strong look. No, did it. Let me. This is a more technical analysis on Battle Chars, the card types, the rarities, the abilities, the AP and DP. It's a strong look at what the game and where the game is, and I'm just so ready to really play with other people in the community and give them a battle of their life, because this is a tactical game and it's extremely fun once you learn how to play it. So this is Battle Char TCG. Like and subscribe, and let's have a small battle, man. Let's get it right. I'll catch you later.